Molo Sanbonani, hello, how's it? Good day, good day, good day. This is the Vuka Nazo Show. My name is Sihle Ngobese. Welcome to it. Remember, all you need to do is hit that like button, of course. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the show. Help me grow my numbers and reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Guys, remember, we have a website. Find us, please, at bigdaddyliberty.com. Now, with that jibber jabber out the way, let's get straight into the news. And there it is. Eskom is now telling you, dear South African, yes, you who might be sitting in darkness right now, to celebrate that darkness. Celebrate the fact that Eskom is not providing electricity to you. In fact, they're saying the fact that you have lower stages of load shedding is a good thing. Celebrate that. Here's the chairperson of Eskom telling you exactly that.
I don't think that there has been an improvement, and that's purely on the basis of experiencing load shedding. We are rotating from stage 4, stage 5, and when the situation really gets worse, we go into stage 6 and we stay there. So I'm not sure how much improvement Thomas Conradi has brought in there. Maybe let's deal with that.
I think we must learn to do something else as well. In these periods, we must also celebrate the times when we've had lower levels of load shedding. And there have been many of those when we've been on stage 3 and stage 2. We must not just lament the stage 8 and stage 7. There's been days when we've had consequent days of stage 3s and stage 2s. And again, if we want this thing to change, celebrate those things that people like Thomas Conradi are fixing. Celebrate those things that people like Bedi Numalo at Eskom, Roadtech Industries are fixing. Then we encourage them to do more.
Yeah, you heard that douchebag exactly right. He's telling you that, hey, celebrate my mediocrity. We should be glad that we're having lower stages or less times of darkness. That's exactly what he's effectively saying, which is a far cry from what his douchebag of a president also had told us a few years ago. Remember this?
Already ahead of the curve because we are already building power stations, and one of them has already gone live, a unit thereof has already gone live, and in another 18 months to 2 years, you will forget that the challenges that we had with relation to power or energy and Eskom ever existed.
So which is it? Which is it? Is the power coming back? Are we going to beat load shedding at the hands of these political elites and the hobnobs at Eskom? Or should we be happy that we're having less load shedding? Which is it? You cannot have both of those things at once, especially when what South Africans really want is no load shedding. We seem to have forgotten that part as these individuals ask us to celebrate their mediocrity. But here's the thing. If you watch this show, you know what the truth is, and that is it is only going to get worse. Do not take my word for it. I had spoken in the past about how they're trying to revise the stages of load shedding to include more stages of this nonsense. Well, we have a bit more detail on this one now. Let me read this independent online piece that said the following. Now, South Africans should brace themselves for the possibility of being plunged into the worst darkness ever since the start of load shedding. A document titled Voluntary NRS 048-9 Edition 3, which would, in unforeseen emergency circumstances, allow Eskom to implement drastic load shedding beyond stage 8, is currently being finalized by the National Regulatory Services Association of South Africa. This is, of course, a voluntary association assisting with regulating load shedding. End of quote. Yeah, that's right. It seems those who are within the machinery, within the electricity generating sector, if you will, know the truth, that it's simply going to get worse. Even as their chairperson and indeed the politicians lie to South Africans to celebrate it getting better, they say. Now, Eskom itself hasn't denied the existence of this document. I want to go back to this independent piece that wrote it up as follows. Now, confirming the document, Eskom spokesperson Daphne Mukwena said its guidelines would be implemented only if there were emergencies threatening the collapse of the grid, something that might be possible during this winter. End of quote. So guys, clearly, as we say in Zulu, it's looking very bad and it's looking very bleak. And I've said this once and I'll say it again. There is no excuse for us, including those of us who simply don't even have the resources. That's not an excuse for us to not do anything. We've got to prepare for what is likely going to be the absolute worst in this country. And how do we do that? I know I got very tough feedback last time from people saying, oh, I don't have money. How do you expect us to prepare? I said then what I'll say now. If you don't have the resources, the best thing you do have is your neighbors, people who you can band together with. You guys have to begin to start working in a voluntary way with people who you share concerns with. Speak to your neighbors. There is nothing wrong with you starting a stokvel to buy a generator, something that you can hook up with your neighbors to power just the absolute basics. It can just be lights and electric fencing if need be, shared amongst 3, 4, 5 homes, or any solution really that you guys can do together. This is how you get through a crisis like this one. Sitting back and hoping that these politicians, whether a momish of a president like Cyril Ramaphosa or a douchebag of a Eskom chairperson like Makwana, that somehow these guys are going to save you, is exactly the sort of foolishness that will put you and your family in danger. All right, that's it for this episode of Vuka Nazo. Hope you enjoyed this particular topic. What do you think about the analysis? You can drop me a comment whether you're watching this simulcast on Facebook or on YouTube. Do me an even bigger favor, like and share the content, especially if you like what we're doing here. Remember, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, like, please, the page and the content. And of course, if it is YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time we are on your screens. Guys, remember, you can support the work that we're doing financially. 75 Rand a month is more than enough that you can contribute. Find a payment method that suits you on our website at bigdaddyliberty.com. With that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next episode of the Vuka Nazo Show.